seven-figure territory for her career. Great milestone for any tournament poker player. How early did you get that in your career, Jonathan?
First year I played, I lost pretty much everything I touched. Then the second year I had an early score for like 320K, but then I had $1 million score shortly after.
There you go. So it's
2 years of live poker. But the first 3 years I played literally every day of my life on party poker.
Wow.
Every single day. I took no off days.
Interesting spot here for Emma. She does have quite a strong heads-up hand, but not one you're necessarily crazy about. Facing a 3-bet. Certainly an argument to continue here.
So this is a spot where if we were playing normal poker, where she raised the cutoff and let's say button 3-bet, you would definitely be folding the king 9. But heads up, you just have to play more hands. And right here, you have to ask, do we have 33% equity? You do, right? A lot of the time. And we're also in position.
Oh, and she is 4-betting here.
So she's using it as a bluff, which I think is also viable. I would be tempted to 4-bet slightly weaker hands, like maybe king 8, king 7. But, king 8, king 9, certainly a fine way to do it.
Well, if she doesn't want to call the king 9, it's effectively the same thing as the king 8, isn't it?
Right. If you're whatever the bottom of your folding range, or the bottom of your calling range / top of your folding range, those are all pretty good hands to use as a bluff. Now, should Patrick stick around?
I mean, I think there's a chance he would shove, to be honest.
He has to put in 2.2 to win what is going to be $8 million.
I don't think he's going to want to call.
Pot odds are a fun thing, heads up.
I could see him shoving, to be honest.
I think shoving would be a little bit maniacal. But hey, nothing wrong with being a little bit of a maniac.
He does call. Nice. What do I know?
I mean, really. Again, you always have to look at what am I being offered. Am I going to realize 27% equity with 7-5 suited out of position? I mean, it's tough, but you probably are. There are no payout implications anymore. They're just straight up playing a heads-up match for 300,000 Canadian dollars. Mm-hmm. So if it's plus EV, it's plus EV, and it probably just is.
Wow.
Inevitably, you make some junky pair, and it's pretty good. Notice here, Emma actually has a boatload of equity with just a 9 of spades. The other card doesn't even matter, really.
More than a boatload, she's a favorite, even though...
Right.
Serta is technically ahead right now with 7.
Sorry, check.
She's going to check back here. Doesn't want to have to bet fold this flop, flopping all this equity.
So, interesting turn. If Emma bets the turn as a bluff, she probably needs to bet the river, I would presume. It's always a tense spot because you know the pot's already huge. Lots of money can go in the pot. Emma has to be careful because if she makes a huge bet, it may result in Patrick only calling when Emma is just crushed. But at the same time, you want him to fold pretty much anything, right? I mean, Patrick is in a miserable spot. And you know, when you do call that pre-flop 4-bet, you realize you are going to under-realize your equity, meaning that pre-flop you had 38%.
Oh my god.
Very close.
He decides to stick around. He can only beat stone bluffs. Problem is, notice the stone bluff that Emma has a whopping 39% equity.
Jeez, this hand is nuts. Oh my goodness.
Brick City on the river. Does Emma go for it? This could be over right here if Emma goes for it. And Patrick decides to be a hero. And I'll tell you, Patrick has hero called Emma once already, and he hero called me yesterday in a huge pot as well. So he is a hero caller, if I've ever seen one. And I mean, we also know Emma loves to bluff. She has an ideal bluffing hand. I mean, it seems rather insane that this would somehow be an all-in pot, but it really could be. Will she go for it? Does this king high have any showdown value at all? And I think the answer's is close.
That makes sense.
Griffin, what's going to happen? I'm so nervous.
It's hard because she's trying to figure out what hands he has that would call the turn and maybe fold river. What kind of 10? Yeah,
She does it!
I love it. Oh, I love it so much.
Now, Patrick, the master hero caller. Think there's any world where he finds this call?
I don't know.
Remember, this was a 4-bet pre-flop hand, right?
10 seconds.
Emma raised, Patrick 3-bet, Emma 4-bet.
Oh my god, he's gonna think about it.
I've only seen Patrick use time bank chips a few times, and every time he made the call. He's chatting her up a little bit. He's talking himself into it. Oh, this would be a heck of a call. Could you imagine calling for 300,000 Canadian dollars, the difference between first and second here, with
Psycho.
pretty much the nut low?
10 seconds. Time yes.
Oh my god.
He did it!
Oh my god!
Wow. Just like that. Pair of sevens for all the money. And I think it's done.
They called it. You got it. If you let them pick.
I think that was all the money. Patrick, Sarah, just like that.
Wow, that is the way you win a WPT event, Emma.
Wow.
Goes down guns blazing in second place.
Big hug for the champion.